Welcome to Teachers World, where we celebrate the heroes of education. Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Hello everyone and welcome to Teachers World. I'm your host David Obianyor. Today we have a special guest who is making Nigeria and all of Africa proud. She was recently named the best teacher in Africa by the African Union. But more than the awards, she is known for her hard helping girls, supporting students with disabilities and teaching us all how to live in peace. Please welcome the amazing Adeola Adefemi.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome back. I have with me in the studio the superstar Adeola Adefemi. Trust me when I say she's a superstar. It's good to have you here.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so I have it on good authority that you're not just in the classroom, and that brings us to our topic, teaching beyond the classroom and helping every child succeed. You're also into peace, and that's where your peace podcasting comes into play. So with that, I'm going to ask you, how does this help children in terms of bullying and tension in the classroom?
I like this particular question because I've been asked so many times that why peace podcasting? Why don't you go for symposia, workshops, have conversations with teachers, adults taking over? But the thing about young people, children, they find it easy to work with things that are interactive. And when it has to do with student to students, it's interactive. But when it comes to adults, they see it as a lecture, so they're not always very forthcoming. And we know when it comes to our society, forget about bullying, let's look at it from conflict side. It is a thing of we're all different and our diversity is very fine. Now, for every classroom, we're a reflection of who we are as a society. We can see this in our classrooms. Students are coming with their diverse, lived experiences. They're coming with their trauma, and they're all different. And we're always very quick to label the students, oh, this annoying boy, this Yoruba girl, this Igbo boy. So we tend to give them these labels. But when it comes to peace podcasting, the students tell their stories. Albeit however, it's very, very discreet. We make sure not everybody can be seen because they're not comfortable. It's about traumatic things. The truth about the issue is that with this podcast, we can remove the labels and replace them with stories. So you are listening to those kids, you are listening to their stories, they're telling their true stories. So you take away the labels, the unserious boy, the annoying girl, the see human being with real stories, with real problems, and from there the bullying stops because they get to put themselves in the position of those that are telling those stories. So that's one thing it helps, and it helps with and another thing it helps you with empathy.
I was going to say that.
Yes, it's deep for the students when they talk about their stories. It's deeper for even the adults around. And when you're talking about things you've experienced as a child in your society, in your community, or you're experiencing right in the classroom, everybody, at that point, people want to empathize with you. They're not looking at it from the angle of, okay, maybe because he's unique in his way, this is his attitude, this is a me problem, or this is a person problem. This time around, you're seeing yourself in these individuals when they tell the stories. And I think the most important one for me, it gives everybody a nuanced understanding of our differences. We are all different. Different in everything. But when the students tell their stories, you get to understand that being quiet doesn't mean arrogance. We're quick to label these kids when we're in class, you're teaching, and it's a particular quiet child in your class, and you feel, oh, maybe he's quiet because he doesn't want to talk, because he's rude, is this, is that. I'll give you a very good example. Just recently, one of the schools I'm working with, there was a particular student that was reported, and everybody labeled him as rude. And I kept asking them, what is it about this boy that you see as rude? Now, the problem, before the boy started talking about his issues, during the podcast, was they felt that, okay, after every offense, you need to apologize by prostrating. This is a Yoruba culture, and yes, it's in the Yoruba community, but this child is not Yoruba. This child is from the north, and he doesn't see things like that. Before he can apologize to you, he has to feel wronged. or feel that he wasn't the wrong.
wronged.
Yeah, or he was wronged. And it was, the teachers expected him to just apologize because the other people that offended alongside apologized by prostrating, and the boy didn't. And everybody labeled him as rude. And before we could say Jack Robinson, his name was placed in the black book. And I kept asking, have you asked questions? Before the boy joined, that was the first thing I said. Have you asked questions? Have you gotten to know what is wrong? Why he did that? Because this is a very brilliant boy. He's represented your school in different competitions, and now you're labeling this boy, and probably you may even ruin his future because you've labeled him as rude and you've placed his name or put his name in the black book. And at the end of the day, the boy was told to write a letter, which he did, and he explained himself that where he comes from, you have to ask questions before you can apologize, because apology for him is deeper than just surface level. And at the end of the day, the teachers were impressed because the letter was very deep. Even before the boy started talking, the letter was to every teacher that was there during the issue. So at the situation, yeah, at the end of the day, they had a change of mind. If I'd not been there, I'm probably sure that boy's name will remain in the black book. So sometimes I think it just gives you a nuanced understanding of our differences, of our diversity, and it's coming from the angle or from the lens of a child. Okay. So also, I think the most important thing is it gives them a voice. The visibility gives them the voice. Like, there's some people that are very quiet. They really do not like talking, not because they don't want to talk, but because they're too shy to talk.
Now, voice increases their confidence.
I think that's the most important one. One of our students, also from the north, don't know a Nigerian. She had the same issue too for a long time. She would never say anything. And now for the Peace Podcasting, it's not just about English. We're not talking about English. You can say it in your language and there'll be someone there to translate. So you can do it in Hausa. We usually do Pidgin, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo sometimes, because we don't have an interpreter for the Igbo. So we do more for Pidgin. But now we have words. Yes.
That's a podcast I would have loved to be a part of, trust me. It's something I can already relate to, thinking about it. And something you said is the fact that the classroom is like a microcosm of the society, how diverse we are. And as a teacher, if you can handle what goes on in your school and in your classroom, it speaks more about your character.
Most definitely.
Well, I've always told you I like the way you speak, the way you sound, and it's so good to have you
here. Thank you very much.
So, you've worked in various schools in the public sector, and I can imagine, as a teacher myself, I have been in the private sector, and I know the discrepancies between the public and the private. So, for teachers who are working with children with disabilities, with limited resources, how do you think you can speak to them to help handle the situation better with children with disabilities?
Okay, I'll speak from my own experience. First as a child, then as an adult. Before I became a teacher, I told people that knew that I did not want to be. I told people that I did not want to be a teacher. But if eventually I become a teacher, I'll be the teacher I, as a child, needed the most. That was the thing I had then. I said, I'll be the teacher that I needed the most. And why did I say this? I think the most important thing when it comes to a child that is divergent is to be seen. I'm not saying give them visibility, see them. These are human beings, not just people in uniform. This is a real person with real emotion and with real issues. So I think the most important thing is just make them feel seen. Let them feel seen. Let them know.
Not feel ignored
at all. So it could be something as minute as changing their seat positions or asking their permission before you call them in front of the class to answer a question. Do you feel comfortable with this question? Do you feel comfortable standing in front of the class? Do you feel comfortable speaking to your friends? It could even be an apology after you offend them. I have a child, not had now, like I have a child, Samuel is in my class, is someone everybody complains about every time. But this boy reminds me of myself, and I know that it's a bit different. I don't think it's difficult for any teacher to know when a child is different. Different is not bad. It's just uniqueness. So I think it's very easy for you to see that, oh, this child is different. It could be something as small as maybe shaking their legs, shaking their hands in class. And everybody complains that you distract my class, you're a ball of energy, you're this, you're... But for me, I keep telling him, whenever he's not around, I tell him, where is Samuel? I ask everybody, where is Samuel? When he's around, I keep asking him questions because he enjoys it. He is different because he's very active, hyperactive. And I know that's the issue teachers have with him. But for the fact that I always ask after him, If he's in class, I speak to him directly. It makes him feel very good. And now Samuel is doing very fine. I mean, it went from writing the way that is not legible to being legible because it's trying to impress someone that sees him. So it's just about seeing them. You don't have to diagnose a child. You don't have to treat the child. You're not a doctor. Just make them feel special. Make them feel like, I see you, you're here. I hear you. And it could even be a slight change to some of the activities. You can't control the scheme of work. You can't control the curriculum, but you can control your activities to suit every child in your class. Maybe not the totality of every child, but at least to manage every child in your class. You can bring in activities that is very diverse. So you know that you're feeding those that are more into the psychomotor side. You're feeding those that are more into the visual, the audio visual, and all that. So it is as small as that. You're not. Your job is not there to say, I think you have
diagnosed thing.
Yeah, you are dyslexic or something. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is just make them feel sane. I think it's as important. If someone had made me feel sane, I'm pretty sure I won't be struggling with anxiety right now, because everybody was always over me, no matter how many times I cry in class, because I was always in my shell. I knew I was very brilliant as a child, but my own brilliance wasn't towards academics. I was very good. I could manage everything. I could balance. I come from a family of people that would probably memorize stuff and shake their heads in the exam and get everything. I mean, perfect score. But I wasn't like that. And I knew I wasn't like that, but I could manage it. But the difficulty I had in school was I was more creative with my mind than the academics, and nobody noticed that. And so I kept retreating into my shell. I was just going deeper and deeper until it became an issue. I mean, a big issue that was being taken around, trying to get a cure to whatever it is that they felt was wrong with me. So I see every child, and I think that's okay. Tweaking here and there, touching this and that, and just making them feel that I see you. You're my friend, we're in this class together, we're in this together, you're my partner in learning, and I'm ready to help you is enough, but not for you to diagnose a child or do too much.
All right, educators, you've heard that. It doesn't have to be a diagnostic thing every time. It might just be the little things that bring out the confidence in your children. Can I ask, what grade do you teach?
You call it grade. We call it we call it as senior secretary. Like we don't use grade and but if I'm gonna put grades, it's not 13 or something. But we call it SS1, SS2, SS3.
Okay,
so it's always
I'm
difficult.
so used to work with my international
but I think it's about 13
so
or
we do all the grade and everything.
Yes.
Can I ask, who are some educators that have inspired you? Like since you became you said you never wanted to be a teacher, or you didn't want to be a teacher. So when you go into the profession, who are some educators that you have looked at and said, okay, I like this person, or I like what this person is doing, or I'm inspired
by this person.
Could
be different people for different reasons. I'll start with my mother. My mother, she was too, I think I took so much from her, the empathy. Yes, I think that's from my mom. She actually loved what she did prior to our retirement. She enjoyed, and so by the time I started with my programs, I do not like going for grants. I don't enjoy grants. I think there's a lot of pressure on trying to prove I did this, I did that. So I do my things naturally. So I learned so much from my mom how to manage that, and then she's always very supportive. I mean, giving me everything I need. Once I spend my salary on the students, she's always there for. I remember the day she actually retired, she faced me and said, I don't have money for you again. But it's a lie. Every time I go to meet my mom, she's always like, okay, another child, another issue, right? And she's always ready to help. So I think that's the first person I'll have to mention, my mother. And the next person would be Permanent Secretary to the General, Permanent Secretary, Dr. Barrister Sholari. She is the definition of a teacher. She doesn't just teach by words. She's a total teacher, like everything you can think of. I don't think I can do half of what she's doing in the education sector, or she's retired as well too, but what she did while she was there, no, I don't think anybody can take her place in my life. And another person that actually inspired me is a man, Mr. Odusoya. He's not as active as, I don't know what happened. He's still doing beautifully well, but I learned so much from him. I think it was his dedication that actually helped me to do what I do right now. I saw a teacher, I was new at the job, and I saw a teacher that was going all the way, dedication 100%, attitude 100% with the students. It was about the student for him. It wasn't about the monetary, it wasn't about money for him. So I saw that, I saw myself in him, because you can't motivate me with money. I love money, I want to be rich, but if you want to get the best of the best from me, you just have to motivate me with a challenge. And I saw that in Mr. Odusoya, and it's doing very well for himself, but I want to see him pop up more again. And finally, if I can mention one other person, I will say my two friends, Okbeifa and Adeola. I love them, they're my teacher tribe. I call them my teacher tribe. I can be very, I don't want to use that word on myself again, but if things are too intense, I withdraw. But they push me out, they pull me out, they push me to the best, to get to my best, to my peak. And if they don't see me online, what's going on, what's happening, they tell, like I've learned so much from them. I'm still learning from them, and I don't joke with them. Adeola and Okbeifa.
All right, you heard that. It's always important to have people who inspire you, and also you should strive to be an inspiration, and also have a tribe. You can hear that the superstar, has a tribe. So with that, we'll go on a break and stay tuned.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078, or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
teaching the world to speak.
Join us on Teacher's World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome back to Teacher's World. I'm still here with the delectable Adeola Adefemi. Delectable and multiple award-winning Adeola. So it's good to be here again.
Thank you very much.
All right, so sometimes we say we have to model ourselves in a way that the children aspire to be like us. I mean, not many children aspire to be like teachers, but I can imagine that if I were a student in your class, I'd aspire to be like you. And your handiwork is already trickling down, it's cascading down towards the children who you teach. And I'm aware that you have children, or you have garnered about 150 awards and counting for the children you teach. I can imagine that not every child in a classroom is a supposed high flyer. How do you work with these children that inspire even those who think they're not book smart to be able to have the confidence to win?
Okay. Let me start from this. You said 150, of course, it's 150 and counting. I have to put it out there that in those 150 competitions won, over 90% were won by students that are labeled low performing. I mean, that they call repeaters. I mean, students that have repeated twice or more than, you know what I mean by repeating. I know it's not usually done in private schools, but in secondary, in public schools, yes. So these are the students that you would label as low performing. I love to work with kids like that because number one, it's challenging for me, and I believe there's beauty in every child. So in my case, when I talk about competitions, I want the child to know first it's about you. So whatever we do outside the classroom is about you. Whatever we do within the classroom is about you. And I think it's easy for me to get the best out of them because I make them feel special in one thing they can do. There's no child that doesn't know how to do one thing. There's always something they can do. It could be something like dancing. I can go looking for a competition that is about dancing for you to win, so that by the time you enjoy the success, it permeates into the other aspects I want you to win at or win in. So it's, for me, I want you to feel like you can do anything in that one thing you're good at.
You can actually be the best at something.
In that one thing. The moment you feel special in that one thing, it transcends into other things. And so when I see the students, it's always sometimes outside the classroom. I see them walking on the corridor. I see some of them on punishment. And I'm like, what happened? And they tell their story. I'm like, okay, fine. Do you want to work with me? And, I've taught in areas that are underserved. And some of the students have never left their community. They don't even know how the world looks like. I've put students in my cars that don't even know how to open doors. Just the joy of knowing that they're going for a competition, they're always very interested. So it starts from there for me. I tell them, okay, fine, what is that one thing you like doing? Do you like drawing? Do you like, by the time I get one competition that you can succeed in, I feel most of the time this give them the belief in self. I was telling someone recently, I said, the belief in self doesn't even start from self. It starts from, I want to appreciate this person that sees me. The first time my students succeed is always more like, I want to say thank you to you. You've spent so much time, energy. How can I say thank you to you? I'll do everything in my power to say thank you by winning this competition. And when they do that, they now find out that, okay, fine, if I can win this competition, I can also do well in other things. And that's where they become themselves and, find themselves in themselves. So it's more like I am just like a channel for them to find themselves. So I don't believe in, when you say smartness, when people say intelligence, I believe we are different in different ways. We are very, very diverse, even in our thinking. So people tend to gear towards, you have to be academically inclined, or it has to be in the classroom. It has to be, the moment you can win at something different from the classroom, you can win in the classroom. If you can win in the classroom, you can win outside the classroom. So it's always very grounded. Like, it starts from that for me. And by the time they find their confidence, sometimes I have to sit on the floor with them and tell them that you can't just win at this. So this academics, that's why you're here. That's still going to call me a failure if you don't do so well in class. So I could sit on the floor with them. We'll start from, okay, pronounce this, say this. This students have issues. I mean, different issues outside the classroom. And it sometimes comes into the classroom with them. So it's not because you can't call them that, you can't say they're not smart. It's just that the issues outside the classroom is coming into the classroom with them. So they can't think, they can't function very well. So by the time we sit together and trying to find or prefer solutions together, they're ready to listen. It's not always very easy. I mean, the 150 took great determination. It took a lot away from me. I became so broke at a point. I mean, I had nothing on me. I had nothing because I was using everything I had to help the students. I wanted them to believe in so much in themselves. So if it had to do with money, I would get them. I would work down to their houses. I wanted to meet their parents. I wanted to meet their friends. I wanted to see what makes them tick, as a child. So it took a lot away from me. But at the end of the day, it was more of, let me appreciate this person first. And since I'm appreciating this person and I'm doing so well, maybe I'm not that bad at the end of the day, and some of them just come out doing so well. And I say it anywhere in a day, I work better with students that you call challenging, because I think that's what makes us teachers at the end of the day.
I don't call them challenging.
People call them challenging.
Some people call them challenging.
Yes.
So that was a fantastic response to my question, and that also buttresses the teaching beyond the classroom as a teacher, when you invest yourself outside of the resources that has been provided for you. Now, as a multiple award winner myself, I can imagine that you have been in various spaces and various places with educators. I mean, we're talking Martina Teacher of the Year, Global Teacher Prize finalist. Nothing compares to that as an educator. So again, it's an honor to have you here. So I would like to ask you, what's the next big dream for you, and what do you see in the Nigerian system for education?
I could say, or I would want to say, probably cancel quality assurance, but that would be a joke. Well, most definitely, I'll still talk about the curriculum. For me, this time around, I want a table. And seated there should be, number one, the industry players. We need questions like, what do you want from graduates? What do you expect our graduates? What should they have? What skills, what knowledge should they have? I want them seated at a table. I want educators, lecturers, teachers in the classroom, still on the field, not just retired. People still relevant to the field, people that know what is obtained in the classroom. I want them on that table too, to be able to tell us, okay, this is not obtainable. When you're creating a scheme of work and you're putting 4 topics in 1 week for an English teacher to complete, I think that's not possible in any way. So I need them at that table too. I also need psychologists, children, psychologists at every level at a table to tell us what is okay for kids at every stage. I need special education teachers. It could be something small to be included in some of the activities placed in that scheme or placed in the curriculum. Everybody should be seated on that table, seated at that table, to have these conversations before we create our own curriculum. Enough of lumping different curricula from different countries. Enough of bringing Finland. The Finland we see today, I've read their history. It wasn't like that. They sat down to decide what they want in their curriculum, and that's what's helping them today. So we need those people I mentioned at that table. Let them decide what we should have, and that's what I want the future of Nigeria's education. That's right now. If you ask me, if I wake up in the morning and you ask me, that would be my answer. I want that at that table. And number two, I think it's time we prioritize the arts and foundation of every education system, which are the teachers. We may say, yes, we prioritize them. There are teachers or words at this, but we do not. We know what we do when we are this important rooms. The real teachers, I mean teachers in the classroom, people that love to teach, people that enjoy teaching are not in these rooms. We get to hear whatever it is they said that comes back cascaded to us. We just hear, go do this, do that, but we are not part of that discussion. Stop. We can't say, oh, we want to prioritize education when we don't prioritize teachers. Teachers are very important. We're the ones that will carry out whatever decision you make in those rooms. So why are we not included in those rooms? Why are we always like an afterthought, and then really need a little bit of autonomy? Like, the control is too much. It stifles our creativity. A lot of times we are controlled to the point that people cannot. I hear things like, oh, carry your American ways away. I'm not using an American way, but I just don't want a boring class. I don't want a boring lecture. I don't want a boring anything. But it's so hard to do this when there's so much control. The bureaucracy is so crazy. Everybody wants to control the teachers, and it kills everything for you. Sure. And finally, I would say regarding the students, probably at this point, I think they should also be involved, because they're always like an afterthought as well too, and we are in that system because of them. So if everybody can sit on this table, make those decisions, create that curriculum or make that curriculum, I think we'll have the best in the world at this time. So it won't be like, why are you pushing out graduates that can't even answer simple questions? What do you want from graduates? And then we can make those decisions.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I can only agree with you. So my final question, as is traditional on this show, is to ask you to nominate an educator who you would like to see on this show at any point in the future. You can look at the camera and talk to the person. Okay, I would like to have Mrs. Kikelomo Sulu on this show. On the show, I would like to see her. And can I nominate one more person? Fine. Okay, probably Adeola Adefemi to my namesake, and she's killing it right now. She's top 10 Global Teacher Prize. Right. Yes, I think she's top 10. Yes, I know she's one of the top 10 Global Teacher Prize ambassadors right now, and I'm praying that she brings the prize home, and I would love to see her here, so that we can spend our money together. Yes. All right, good luck to Adeola, and we hope you achieve this goal. I mean, it's something we've been chasing as a nation for a while. So good luck to you, and from us at Teachers World, it was nice having you on the show. Thank you very much. Adeola. Thank you so much. I guess I can invite you some other time. Definitely. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you for staying tuned.
My name is Mrs. Emmanuel Efe. I'm a teacher by profession. I've been teaching for the past 8 years. This is Achievement Channel, and you are watching Teachers World.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Osage Cynthia. I've been teaching for the past 14 years. This is Achievement Channel, and you're watching Teachers World.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Adeola, thank you for reminding us that being a teacher is more than just lessons. It's about changing lives. Your work with Peace Podcasting and your love for your students is truly inspiring. So to everyone listening, remember that every child counts. Thank you for joining us today on Teachers World. I'm David Obianyor, and we'll see you next time.